Alright guys, welcome back. We are watching Tatsuki Fujimoto 17 through 26, episode 6. Last time was an episode about mermaids and people and getting along with each other, which really felt like, in a lot of ways, like a thematic continuation of a lot of the stuff from episode 1, right? And it showed, like, the way that Tatsuki Fujimoto's thoughts about a lot of that stuff might have changed with time, you know? It was a good one. It made me really made me think, I guess. Just made me think about him as an author. It's just interesting going along all of these episodes because it's really like a deep dive into a lot of things that he thinks about a lot of different stuff like this, you know? Most of it relating back to, like, love and all that, right? Like, very core ideas, I suppose. This episode is called Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome, which is an interesting title. It's kind of like a trope, right? Like there's like anime and like manga and stuff that has that. It's like it's like a whole genre. I don't know if there's like a specific like name for it or anything, right? But that's certainly interesting. I do wonder what this will be about, I guess, right? Like, Tatsuki Fujimoto, I trust him to take this in an interesting direction, as I think, like the first episode apparently being named after like a Japanese tongue twister, right? And it's like he wrote the story in a way like around that in a sense, because that tongue twister that was like the title like existed without that. I think that's interesting. Maybe he kind of did a similar thing here, right? Well, this is a trope. This is like a known, like weird anime trope, right? Um, and I wonder what he could do about it. I can certainly imagine a way you could take this as a subject and say interesting things about it. How do we take it in like a Tatsuki Fujimoto way? I don't know. I don't know because he's always there's so much about acceptance, like accepting people who are different than you, relating that back to like the idea of love and all that kind of stuff. And I wonder how this idea, waking up as a girl, what what is it again? Woke up as a girl syndrome. How that will pan out in that way, huh? Let's just get started. So we're watching episode 6. You can line your copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Let me make sure I have my subtitles on. I do. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Going back in time. 2000. Okay. Okay. I see. Ooh. Bit of a messy room. 10 months today. Interesting. Oh, did it just happen right now? Oh god. Oh no. How does that happen? Oh god. Right, right. I mean, can you imagine? Like, I don't know, right? Like, I just like the emotional and mental impact it would have on you in a way. Oh god. Oh, it's great. Yeah. Ooh. That's realistic. I mean, that's how a lot of people would feel, right? Oh, right? Like, oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Well, hmm. 年日ですぐ泣くからさ。女みたいだってバカにしてたのにな。本当に女の子になっちゃったな。Ooh, interesting. Rip. Oh god, oh no. Like, imagine, right? Oh, all the Ooh, all the, like, whispering and everything. Oh, but they aren't a girl, right? They don't think of themselves as a girl, right? Oh god. No. Yeah, yeah, right. Oh. Oh, all of these, like, uncomfortable things it makes you, like, think about, like, ooh. The mouth just zipped shut. They didn't stop thinking any of that. Oh, god. That's not good. But, oh, god. Oh, man, this is rough, huh? It's like, what is this music to go along with it, you know? Like, oh. Someone to save the day, maybe? Akira. Oh, god. Man, this is really... thank you. Yeah, there we go. All right. Sounds good to me. Yeah. Oh, man. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Ooh. Ah. Well, very deservedly so. Like, oh, god. Thank you. Oh, I don't think so. Ooh, right. Yeah. I mean, still seeing him as, like, who he is, despite this, is, like, important, right? Obviously. Oh, god. God damn it. But of course, like, the people saying those insane things aren't gonna... Okay. Oh. It is not your fault. It's even a little bit. Completely out of your control. Yeah. A couple of contracts. Ooh. It's like we keep getting distracted with the music in a way, you know? That's what it feels like it serves as a distraction in some way. Oh, but how does this change things, right? Oh. Ooh. Okay. And... yeah. Interesting. Ooh. That's a good question. I don't know, right? Like, is that even... it's just making me think so many things. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Oh. Really affects her. Oh, God. Oh, I don't know if that's a good... I don't know if that's a good way to handle it, though. Right? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, God. Ooh. I guess. Oh God. Oh, it's like I don't even know. It's oh God. It's clear that Toshihide feels like this. What? Feels this horrible discomfort at what has happened, right? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh, like that's how it has to be. I don't think that's true though. I don't think it has to be like that. That's why. Right, right. It makes her feel better, maybe. I don't know. Oh, come on. Oh God, I don't know. It is not your fault, right? Your own feelings about all of this, whatever they even are, and this happening to you in the first place isn't your fault. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Oh God, what is this music? Ooh, it's a good question. I don't know, right? Oh, okay, okay. If that's what you are. Oh. Oh, interesting. It's like we keep... Oh. God. Okay, okay, sure. Yeah. That's all that matters, right? Okay. Oh. Right, right. Okay, okay. There we go. If you're both ready for it, I suppose. I mean, it's kind of a, you know, kind of a rough situation. I don't know. Oh. God. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Huh. I don't know. That was a good. That was so short. Why is that one so short? Man, that was a really good one. It makes me think a lot. Oh, man. It makes me think a lot. I guess that's how I gotta summarize that, huh? Ooh. The way, like, music was used was really interesting. I don't know, it just makes me think a lot of stuff about, like, like, gender stuff, you know? Because basically, it's like what Tojide experienced, right? Is like the idea of what it is like experience like gender dysphoria, right? Is suddenly you're in the wrong body. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the stereotypical way to explain like gender dysphoria, I suppose, right? Hmm. God, and then just like oh, just the way his classmates were like treating him. You know, it's like oh God, yeah. I guess it just went very realistically over the way that this kind of thing would actually go down if someone actually did like turn into a girl like this, right? Like, yeah, I mean, sure, you know. God, like, can you imagine like the bullying that would happen if that actually happened at someone's school? You know what I mean? Like, especially if it was a kid that was already like bullied, was already kind of like made fun of and stuff. Like, yeah, yeah, God. Okay. Let's talk about the episode. Okay, let's talk about it. I've just been sitting here rewatching some of the scenes, just like thinking about it. I just, God, I really enjoyed this one. This one has to be my actual favorite for real. I've said that like every time, I think, but like this one, like come on, this one's my favorite. Um, I think this is a really interesting, like, for one, like what was done here is like, there's this trope, right? This whole woke up as a girl syndrome thing. Like I feel like I've been vaguely aware of that being like an anime trope, Wasn't there like an anime that came out like a few years ago that was like relatively popular that like had that premise? I think I like heard stuff about that. Stuff, things like that, right? It's been a trope for a while, right? It's just interesting how like what Fujimoto did here, I suppose, is it's like so God, it's so real. It's so realistic. Like there's so many scenes in this episode that like, oh, they like hurt. They're like really painful seeing what Toshihide is like going through and then like the way he blames himself for like his feelings and like what's even going on right now. And just all of this. It's so realistic. It's so like real, you know? Um I mean, the way he's treated, just I guess it's like and also like the way everyone else just instantly starts seeing him as a girl just because his outward appearance has like changed, right? Like the way all the boys in class say those horrible, insane, disgusting things to him and treat him so horribly immediately just because like his outside appearance has changed and all of this, it's so God, it's just so like this episode made me really uncomfortable in a lot of ways, right? Just like even just like this scene in a moment here, um, with Toshihide and Rie, right? Him talking to her about this and like apologizing and stuff. It's so like, oh, it's so bad. It's so sad. Um, oh God, it's like it just really gets to me. I don't know. It's so like realistic, I guess. Like the feelings that are like represented here. I think this really is for most people what it would feel like if you suddenly woke up in in a body that didn't match like your gender identity, I suppose, right? Um it's like I guess in my mind there's like two kinds of like gender dysphoria. At least this is just how I like see it, I suppose, right? It's like physical like gender dysphoria, right? Where it's like what Toshihide is kind of feeling here, where it's like literally, it's like if the way your body looks is important to you, which is pretty important for like most people, right? Even like cis people for the most part, even if you've never experienced gender dysphoria yourself, it's because your body like fits with your gender identity for the most part, right? Like in my mind, again, this is like just my personal understanding of it. Maybe there's studies on this kind of thing that I'm not aware of, but even like physical gender dysphoria in this way is still like socially determined in a sense, right? That is like my understanding of it, right? Where if you suddenly wake up and you look like this when you identify as a man, like Toshihide does, right? Well, you have all of these attributes about your physical body now that people will look at and think, oh, that's a girl, right? And that makes you uncomfortable because people assume that you are a girl. You see yourself as a girl. There are these physical traits about your body that are socially equated with the idea of being a girl, right? And that makes you feel like horribly uncomfortable, right? I think like the closest thing that like people can understand if you've never experienced like gender dysphoria yourself is like if you are a man, for example, like having a desire to like work out and be like really muscular and all of that, right? Like that is something that is related with like masculinity, right? Like the idea of being really muscular and all of that, being at the gym, going to the gym and being all muscly, all of that stuff. That's something that's equated with the idea of masculinity. And I think that's probably like a similar feeling in a way, right? Feeling the need, feeling the desire to do that. There's probably a lot of like cosmetic surgery that people want to get that is in that same bucket that you could say is in a way like gender dysphoria, right? Like wanting to have your body match more to like societal standards of what people think you should look like if you are a man or a woman or whatever you identify as, I suppose, right? Obviously, in society at large, right, there's really only strong like physical connotations behind that idea of being like masculine or feminine, right? Like for the most part, if you look non-binary, there's it's a lot of people are going to throw you, no matter how you look, a lot of people are going to throw you in the bucket of either, oh, you should look masculine or you should look feminine, right? That's kind of, unfortunately, just like societally, that's how a lot of people like think about it, right? And there's going to be like weird feelings you'll probably get on either end of that, depending on how people perceive you and your like literal physical characteristics, the way you look compared to like your own like internal world, you know? And then in my mind, like the other side of gender dysphoria is like social. Like well, I mean, I just finished saying that like even physical gender dysphoria is like a socially determined thing, which I certainly think it is. But like social in terms of like expectations about the way you should act or the way you should feel or the way you should just all that kind of stuff, right? Like all the ways you should portray yourself socially and the ways you should act emotionally and all of that like with your gender and stuff. And there's some of that in this episode too. I I don't know what to think about all of that in this episode, right? Rie saying stuff like this, right? Telling Toshida that boys don't cry, that kind of thing. It's kind of like affirmation, right? Because she's basically saying here, "Oh, I can still see you as a boy despite you, you having woken up as a girl," right? That doesn't really like mean anything in a sense, right? And that's like the conclusion of the episode as well, right? Is it's like it's the way you feel on the inside and the way you see yourself, you know? Um, that's what's like really that's what's really important, you know? And I guess that's like the conclusion at the end here, in a way, right? Toshihide saying, it was after I got turned into a girl that I decided to act like a man. And like what's important there is, in my mind, it's like whatever being a girl or a man is, the way to really like comes to terms with it and come to terms with however you like view yourself in that way is to just decide what it means like for you, right? Is to just decide what that is for you. And that's kind of a cop out in a way because a lot most as everyone on earth seeks affirmation from other people in a way, right? No one would be happy if they think of themselves as a man and everyone in the world thinks of them as a girl and refuses to see them that way, right? Like obviously, right? That just kind of like makes sense, right? That wouldn't feel good, you know? So I don't think it's so easy that you can just turn off like gender dysphoria by redefining what it means to be a man or a girl for yourself, right? That's kind of the struggle, right? I feel like um it's no one on earth perfectly lives up to the idea, whatever the purest idea of whatever a man or a woman is, right? Which is kind of an impossible thing to even define. No one lives up to all of that, right? And it's not like you have to perfectly live up to every possible aspect of masculinity or femininity in order to be seen as one of those things. Unfortunately, we're kind of really unfair in society in a way. Well, maybe you can view it like that. Maybe that's going too far, but a lot of people care a lot about just the way you look versus anything else, right? That's kind of like the most, and maybe that just makes sense because that's most of what people see about you or know about you is just kind of the way you look, right? And that's kind of this, that's always going to be a very strong aspect of it, right? For most people about like their gender identity is the literal way you look, right? It's like you can say no matter what that what is inside is all that matters, but I think that's not enough for most people. It's hard to like ground your own identity just in that if other people don't recognize it in any way, right? I mean, hey, that's why it's nice for Toshihide, right? Like Rie very much accepts that, right? They don't have to like break up or anything, right? Like imagine how awful that would be, you know? And I don't know, it's like it makes me think about that too with like relationships in real life, like um people already being like married or something in like a heterosexual relationship and then they realize that they're trans and they want to transition or something and like how that would feel, right? Like that's really what a lot of Toshihide's a lot of the stuff that he says in this episode makes me think about um like him blaming himself and all of that and thinking it's his fault for feeling like this and having this happen to him and everything. That's what it makes me think about, um it's like you're the self-blame for your own feelings and everything. Yeah, I just oh god, it feels like it touches on so many aspects of those kinds of like, those kinds of ideas, I suppose, of like just gender identity and that kind of stuff. There's so much to it, you know. I guess so like in my mind, I guess the way I would sum it up is I think this is very like it's very insightful. I think it's really good like representation in that way of like those kinds of problems in my mind, right? Um it's, yeah, and I think framing it in this way of it showing, like, Toshihide being, like, a cisgender man, right? And this suddenly happening to him and viewing it through, like, that lens, I think that probably would help a lot of people who don't understand this kind of thing, right? Because they themselves are cis, like, not, or no, like, be able to, like, get it in a way, maybe, right? Because like, really think about it. Really think about how it would feel if tomorrow you woke up and you were in like the wrong body, how that, like, and that's how a lot of people feel like right now already, right? That's why people want to change genders so often, yeah, yeah. I loved it. I love this episode so. And I guess to like talk about myself for a second, because I think this episode like warrants it, I suppose, right? I think it's interesting maybe. Um, in terms of like the way I feel about like gender and stuff, like applied to myself. Like I guess for as long as I can remember, from like when I was like born, I guess, right? Being born a boy, right? Being seen as a boy and like a man as I grew up, I suppose. Um, I always viewed like the things that were expected from me. I guess talking about like socially only, I guess. I always just viewed it as like these things that were like forced on me or like things I was like expected to live up to and not at all something that felt like natural to me. And I don't know if that's just how everyone feels about like gender role stuff, like the way you're supposed to act as like a man or a woman or whatever, you know? I literally have no idea if that is how everyone feels about it. Like you have to almost like put on a mask in a way to act in that way. Like I guess like what I mean exactly is like in this scene, right, where these crazy, insane boys in Toshihide's class are being crazy and acting insane, right? Um, Kind of what they're doing here is like a weird, like masculinity signaling like thing here in a way, right? Like acting like this. It's, you know what I mean? Like this is a boy's type of way to act. It's like you know what I mean, right? In like a very like negative way, obviously, right? Imagining myself in like a situation like this, not as like horrible as this, I suppose. Not like when we're talking about sexually assaulting someone and being insane, right? But just in any kind of situation like this, where I'm like in the presence of a lot of other like boys in like class or something like when I was growing up, it always felt like the way that I would have to act to like fit in or like be seen as like another boy or something, right? Was something I had to like force, it's like I had to make sure I acted in a way that is seen as like masculine to be seen as such, I suppose, right? It didn't even feel like something I particularly wanted to do, right? And it's like it's now that I've grown up, it's kind of something that is less of an issue, I suppose, right? You don't really have like the same environment that you kind of have in high school, like once you're like done with it, Um, it didn't feel like something that I felt like I had to do or that I should do in a way, I suppose, right? It just felt like something that was in a weird way like expected of me. And in some way, people might see me or like other people, I guess, as like weird, is like not, I guess, just the same way that they treat like Toshihide in a sense, right? Saying that he's like people made fun of him and called him a girl already and all of this for crying too much and like I guess displaying these traits that people view as not masculine, and Toshihide didn't like, I guess, the same way that I would feel like a weird pressure to in a way to like to act in that way despite yourself, I suppose, right? Is that just how everyone feels about it? Like do those kinds of ideas, right? The things, the way that you have to act in order to conform to societal expectations about like gender and all of that, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever. Does everyone feel like that about it? That it's like these things that are like forced on you in a way? Or is that I can't imagine feeling any other way about it. So, like, I don't know, right? I don't know. I've certainly never experienced any, like, physical gender dysphoria or anything, so I don't think of myself as, like, trans or anything, right? Um, because I don't experience any of those feelings at all. I guess, how would I feel if I woke up in a woman's body tomorrow? God, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I would really feel anything either way. I guess I would just feel like the things that would be expected of me and the way that I would be expected to act in order to match my perceived gender identity based off the way I look, it's like those things would just change, right? I do think, for the most part, women kind of have it worse, right? Because of like what we see in this scene in a lot of ways, right? With like the way that men treat women versus the other way around. Like, sure, that would suck, right? But in terms of like personal, like physical gender dysphoria, I would feel, I really don't know. I really have no idea. And maybe I'm just saying that from the position of someone who doesn't experience it right now, right? Like maybe because I don't experience it right now, I just think of the way I feel right now as like not caring or just like being normal in a way, right? Like feeling normal. So therefore it's hard for me to imagine how it would feel, I guess. But, like, I don't know. I don't know, because I guess it's, like, the way I feel now about, like, that kind of thing, like, physically, is I don't really feel the desire, um I don't feel the desire to, like, portray myself as, like, a man, like, physically exactly. I don't know. But maybe I do because, like, I do portray myself that way. Like, I don't think many people look at me and they're like, "Oh, that's a woman," the same way that people now look at Toshihide and do that. I don't know. It's a weird question. It's a weird question. It's kind of, yeah, it makes you think. Like, I feel like I can understand gender dysphoria, like physical gender dysphoria on like some level without, I think, having experienced it myself, really. Unless you want to call that weird feeling that I would have socially gender dysphoria. But I don't really think it is. I don't really think it is. Because what if just everyone feels that way? I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. Because I think there's differing like layers to it too, depending on like how you were raised and the pressures of like your parents on you and that kind of thing, right? Because I know a lot of people's parents, for example, will like you see how people like they either they'll get mad at their son for playing with dolls or something like that, right? I when I was a kid, all I cared about was playing like Pokemon. So like I don't know, right? I don't know if I feel like I never played with like toys and stuff, so I don't have any memories about that kind of thing. I guess to sum it all up, for me, this kind of like societal idea of like gender roles and gender dysphoria and like gendered expectations on you, it always felt like something that was forced on me in a way, and that I would have to put on like an act in order to be seen in that way. And I guess if I'm interacting with someone who clearly sees me as a man, because that is the way I physically present myself, right? Um, I do feel like some kind of weird pressure to change my behavior in some way, right? Though versus like the way I normally act in a sense, right? In order to come across like that, to like match their expectations, maybe, right? And it's really hard for me to believe that not everyone feels like that in some way, right? But maybe they don't. Maybe, but like I don't really believe in like gender like essentialist like people just because you were born male or female that you just have like this natural desire to act in a way that is stereotypically masculine or feminine. You know what I mean? So it would be really hard for me to accept that everyone doesn't feel that way about it. But I don't know. I really don't know, right? It would be really hard for me to not just say that anyone who says they don't feel like that isn't just coping, and that isn't, and not maybe not coping, but isn't just like deluding themselves, right? But like that isn't to like dissuade comments or anything about like people's own like feelings or anything about this, because I guess I am curious how other people like feel about that in a way, right? Because I just really don't know. I've never really like talked to anyone about this. I guess like not really. I have kind of with like friends and stuff, and I feel like a lot of my friends have kind of felt the same way. Well, it doesn't help that like 2 out of my 3 like really close friends are trans. So it feels like I can't really get to like the perspective of someone who is cisgender, which I think is actually would be interesting in this case compared to the way I feel about this kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. Um Okay, we gotta like talk more about the episode, right? Even though we kind of have covered like a lot of it already, right? We haven't really gone through it like scene by scene, but I think I've like kind of made myself heard on a lot of this, right? It's like the The reaction Toshihide has in this very like, yeah, it's like awful, right? It's very realistic, I think. Of course he would immediately ask for a cure, right? Like the way he's immediate, like, is there a cure, right? Of course that's what you would immediately think. That's what you would immediately want, right? It's like, yeah, it's so realistic. It makes so much sense, you know? And we've talked about this scene, how this just like breaks my heart. Like the feelings he has about this. It's not his fault at all, obviously, right? And it feels like what Rie says here is like kind of affirmation in a way, basically saying that she still sees him as a boy, right? Despite what's happened, I suppose, right? And I guess this whole idea that boys don't cry and all of that, right? It's again, it's just all that matters to me is how Toshihide feels about that himself, you know? It's like whether or not for him that is an important thing for like masculinity, right? And it seems like it is with the way that he like looked up to Akira and all of that, you know. So like sure, I great, right? Oh, God, it really looks like she was about to punch him here with how violent she is in the episode, you know? God. Hmm. Yeah, we go to school. Just literally just imagine, right? Like it's just all the gossip, all the things people start saying, the horrible way from today on treat Toshihide as a girl. Like just the worst thing ever to say, right? Like that isn't how he feels at all, right? Oh God, it's so bad. It's so awful. Like, and like all this stuff about like saying that he's a perv and all of this, right? When it's not in his control at all. And it also makes you think about like the horrible stereotype of like trans people being like weird perverts and all of that, right? Like just the way that people have viewed like gender nonconforming or like non-heterosexual people for like forever, right? Can, you know, putting it in the bucket of being some kind of weird perversion and all of that. You know, it's like, yeah, it's unfortunately that is how people like think about it, right? Yeah, yeah. Oh God, I like this, right? The when the teacher says settle down, and it's just like a zipper across the mouth. I like that because what immediately made me think is it's like all this did was shut them up. They didn't. It's not like they changed their thoughts or anything, and the teacher didn't say anything other than that. It's not like he said anything to counter what they were saying or like said that's wrong. He just said settle down. You know, like oh, and this scene makes me so uncomfortable. All these, oh God, yeah, like. And it's really interesting. We have like multiple like really uncomfortable scenes that have like this like upbeat, distracting, loud music that plays during it. And it's like, it's weird. It's almost like it serves as a distraction. And I don't really know what to think about that, right? It doesn't tonally match the scene that's going on right now. And I don't really know what to make of that, you know? Is it like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that, honestly. Like, could you say that it shows how like this kind of problem, like largely is something that's like is ignored, maybe, right? How we have like this loud music, like almost drowning it all out, you know? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it exactly. Akira shows up, saves the day. He's awesome. God, like what? Like what the board says? Jesus Christ. Hmm. Like, what an insane thing to say, right? Like Jesus. Jesus, man. Ugh, God. But he saves the day, in a way, I suppose. And then we go back home and we have another just it's so God, it's always like so uncomfortable to me. Just all of these scenes and the feelings and everything, right? And how it's like I don't know, like putting myself in like Rie's shoes too. I just don't even know. I don't know what I would say or what I would feel or how I would, you know, because it feels like the way she feels, I guess, about all of this. Like when Toshihide says this stuff about like turning into a girl on the inside as well and all of that. And that means that he can't date Rie anymore and all of this. You know, that's what really upsets Rie, obviously, right? Like of course, you know. Um but like I don't know. I don't know. It's so oh God, it's so sad. I don't know. I don't know. Because I guess in that moment, when Toshihide is feeling like this, right? It's like they really are. It's like they're letting it beat them in a way, you know. It's like they're giving up and just like thinking that they should just that they just have to be a girl now. I suppose, right? That they can't. Which, like, again, I for a lot of trans people, that kind of is reality. A lot of people never like transition, right? Because because of like social pressures, obviously, right? Like trans people are treated horribly, right? Like very like realistic in this episode in a way towards a lot of that, you know. Um and just like the social pressure and everything surrounding all of it, you know, a lot of people just don't, right? They just kind of give up and they just live their lives as a man or as a woman, no matter how they feel about it, you know, just because in a way it's like you can't bring yourself to go through the horrible treatments, you know, the social pressure against it to actually like transition, you know. Which is kind of like what Toshihide is experiencing here, right? He's kind of just like, maybe I just should be a girl, I guess, now, right? Because it's like it's gonna be so hard, it's gonna be so awful, right? No secrets. Secrets are punishable by death. They have a contract. Oh, God. Hmm. And this is interesting what he says about, like, Akira and all of this. Like, because it's like later it's reframed, I guess, is the idea that what he really felt was like he wants to be like him, you know, he like admires that, you know? I don't know. That is interesting. God, I guess it's kind of like Toshihide doubting their own feelings in a way too, right? Like the only reason he sees it like that is because he is now in a woman's body in a sense, right? That's how everyone sees it. That's how he himself sees it, I suppose. It's like if he admired Akira in that way before, and like the way he behaved there, he wouldn't have thought like, oh, me, I must be in love with him. You know, it's yeah, yeah. Oh God. And yeah, you can see how that really I don't know. I don't know. It's so uncomfortable. It's so awful. And then it's like this whole idea of like wanting to immediately have sex. It's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I really don't know what to think about that, honestly. My feelings and all of that are so unclear. For one, I think we're really like rushing this, and I don't think this is a good way to to do it, right? Um it's very much like, I guess, related to that idea. I guess it's like Rie in a way wants to, um, like probably what she's thinking is she really wants to show that she still accepts him and sees him as a boy and wants to try and make him realize that in a sense, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's like very focused on like these like physical action, right? Because that's kind of like what the problem is in a way, right? Yeah, yeah. Oh God. Because I don't know, it's interesting because there's two ways this could have gone, right? There's two ways the story could have gone, which is one, Toshihide experiencing all of this, you know, still seeing themselves as a boy, right? And having now, you know, their gender mismatching, like the way they see themselves, mismatching like their physical, the way people see them, right? Or I mean, I could imagine a world where this is written in a way that like inside as well, right? Like literally they feel like a girl now, which would be weird. I don't even know. That would just be strange because I feel like that would have to rewrite so much of the way you view yourself, you know? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think either way, I just feel so bad for both of these characters and just all of this. It's so because it's just so closely related to like personal identity and all of that. It's so hard to like there's like no right answer, I guess, you know? Like, oh God. I don't know. I don't know. And this is just ridiculous. Like, what is this? Oh God. Oh, I don't know. Just something about this episode gets to me on a level that like almost nothing has before. I don't know. It feels so like Toshihide feeling like it's their fault here and all of this. It's like, oh God, man, hmm, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, oh yeah, and we get some of this some of this backstory between them, right? Like, oh God, it's very good. It's so good, man. I don't know. It's hard for me to say anything. I guess it's hard for me to say anything. I don't know. I love this episode, and I just it feels so powerful, just in terms of like about personal identity and accepting yourself, and like making that distinction, I guess, of what it means to be yourself to yourself. That's what it feels like to me, right? It's gonna be hard, of course. It's like we see the issues that Toshihide will face for like the rest of his life, I guess, right? It's gonna be rough, right? It's gonna be hard to exist like this forever. You know, there's no cure. It's some magical disease that makes it impossible to change your appearance ever, right? Which is like a horrible, right? And I guess it's like the idea that you have to, no matter how unfair it feels, fight against like those social pressures that tell you to act and be a certain way. You know, the pressures that Toshihide is now feeling to be a girl despite how he feels in the inside. And be yourself and be how you feel despite that, right? That's I guess that's how I would sum it up, I suppose, right? Which is like really, yeah, it's very powerful to me. I enjoy it a lot. I do enjoy it a lot. It's as long as they're both ready, I suppose. They're both very cool. Ah, God. And I love the song in the end credits too. Ah, God, I love this one. This one was so good. I don't know, it just made me think a lot, right? It made me think a lot. Um, because like it's weird. It's weird. Like I don't. It's hard for me to think of myself as cis or trans. Really, I don't really think of myself as fitting into either of those buckets. Which doesn't really make any sense because that is kind of like a binary thing, right? You're cis if your gender identity matches up with, what you were like assigned at birth in a way, and you're trans if it doesn't, right? To me, I guess I just feel like I don't have a gender identity. I just feel like it doesn't. I feel like it's impossible for me to say that, but I also feel like the idea. But I also feel like maybe I'm just saying that in ignorance of what gender dysphoria in a way feels like. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird to me because I don't feel discomfort exactly at the idea of being seen as a man, right? I just feel like the idea of being seen as a man is something that I feel this pressure to have to work for, right? Um, but if people see me as that, that doesn't really make me uncomfortable, you know? If I could exist as I am and not feel the need to put on some kind of weird, like, a mask almost in a way in order to feel like I'm fitting in with the idea of what people see as like masculine or what people see as being a man, and people just saw me as a man without having to do that, I would be like happy and I would be fine with that, right? It's that weird like societal pressure of what is socially expected of what it means to be masculine that like makes me like feel like weird and uncomfortable in a way, I guess, right? And that's why it feels weird in the first place to think of myself like as a man exactly. You know what I mean? Because that's such a socially like loaded idea, you know? I don't know. I don't know. We're just rambling. That was a good one. That was a good episode. I like that one a lot. I like that one a lot. Okay. Well, if you have anything to say, please leave a comment. I'm interested to see what people think about this episode, I suppose. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.